What is good, YouTube? And today we have another 7 Nights video, and we're going to be looking at Aquila. So I know I've been talking about Kyle a lot, but that doesn't mean Aquila is a bad character. I think most people are just hyped for Kyle because he's an amazing farmer, and he just looks really strong and low investment. But you're also going to see that Aquila, the other legendary plus on the banner, is going to be one of the best low investment characters in the game. Now, she won't be used for like farming or anything like that because her modifiers just don't exist at all. But you're going to notice that she synergizes really well in the death setup. And she works at 0 dupes because the dupes that you get don't really matter, right? T2, you just heal more. You can just heal with other characters on your team. It will make it safer, but it doesn't really matter too much. And T6, you get cooldown reduction when you kill stuff. It's nice, but not required for PvE. It's mostly for PvP. But you're going to see that she is absolutely amazing in death teams for pushing for PvE. And I also imagine in PvP, which I will showcase in the future. And the reason why is because she has death, obviously. So 3 target death. So not an AoE, but similar to Nox, it can go on 3 targets. But she also has Link. And Link is just one of the most broken buffs in this game because it evenly distributes damage. So usually with the death team, right, you're running 2 death units, maybe 3, and then like 2 supports that heal and like buff your team. And they're all extremely tanky. And with Link, you're sharing damage, so it makes all of your units super tanky, and it makes any of your healing that you get just like be a lot more effective because you won't really overheal just one target. If you do end up overhealing, you'll end up overhealing everything because we're all sharing health. It also works very well with anything with continuous healing, such as Alice, such as Lena's Marching Anthem, and even something like a Yui, because you are just healing constantly and just getting like pretty much 100% value. And the same argument, you're not going to be overhealing at all. So it's really, really good. This is also why Rudy is extremely powerful. So she might replace Rudy in the PvP teams. We'll have to see that use death. But regardless, having a death ability with a Link, like you're applying your death, which is like your win condition in both PvE and PvP, and putting up this insane buff, it's really strong. So this is like one of the most broken skills in the game right now. And then we have her skill 1. This is also insane. So you're going to notice that it has something called death turn reduction. So if you have 3 turns of death debuff on the enemies and you use this and it lands, it goes to 2. So you can speed up your death runs by a lot. And it's not the most important thing for progressing through Adventure and Tower, but at around 200 turns, you will need to start killing them because you get a debuff that makes you take more damage, and this will speed up your runs by a lot. On top of that, she has this weakness hit reduction, not really a big thing in PvE, but for PvP it's going to be good because the thing that counters those tank teams that you're playing with the death setup is weakness hit chance, because this goes through block and it just does extra damage. So you have a way to counteract it, although it's only 22%, it is still something. So yeah. On top of that, if you end up skill enhancing her onto her basic attack, she actually gives a barrier to someone that scales with her max HP. So you can see she also has some sort of sustain, so she's going to be pretty powerful. And then on top of that, with her passive, you have effect resist reduction on the enemy side. This is super good. Why? Because death relies on landing your debuffs. And in PvE content, you'll fight characters with like 40% base effect resist, and then you're fighting Lena teams, which can boost that by like another 25%ish. And then you fight against like those fodder units that have like that effect hit down that gives you like 22% reduction or something. So this is really good in those situations. And it makes it so that you can actually invest less into effect hit rate and just get more tanky stats, so you actually can live a lot easier. So you can see mine's at 53%. Usually people push for 70% for PvE or higher if you want to run them in both PvE and PvP. But with this passive, you can actually reduce it a bit. Also, she gets a heal when she falls below 50%, making her very tanky, also synergizes very well with her Link. But yeah, like I said, she's an amazing death character. We'll test her out in some PvE content. I have her on this setup with just the Spellweaver set, so I have the extra chance to land my debuffs and to get some extra hit rate. And then we also have block rate gear. And I actually have my gear at +0. And the funny thing is, I'm recording this intro before I recorded the runs. So you're gonna see during the runs that she's going to still be on +0 gear. So I literally forgot to enhance my gear, and the death team is so good that it worked like this, which is actually hilarious because I'm noticing this right now as I'm recording. So that's absolutely crazy. So no wonder she felt so squishy. But yeah, so it works like this. I probably have to replace one of these weapons with HP percent once I upgrade it, but you're gonna see that she is absolutely bonkers in this setup, and she probably works as like a death character with only 2 death units on the team together. Let's actually see how she does in a nightmare stage. This is 12-30, it's pretty difficult, and I'm just going to show you guys the first team because we're mostly going to be looking at Aquila and how she does in the death team. And usually what you run in this team comp is the 3 death characters. Before Aquila came out, it was Rosie, and then you run like 2 supports. So I have Chloe here for the shock immunity because we are fighting against Eileen, who will shock us. And then you want to bring a healer, and Alice is usually the best one. You can also bring Lena, you can bring Yui if you want, or Karin, or Karan, but it's really up to you guys. And I'm gonna be honest, you don't even need these 3 death characters, all 3 of them. You can probably just run 2. I think if I actually replaced Chris with another support, it will probably work fine, which I'll show you after this run. But we're just gonna do it with the standard death core if you have these characters available. And I think the way you want to start is definitely with her Shroud of Darkness. This will give you Link, which makes you take like no damage. And then after that, I'm probably going to do Chris's ability and then Nox's. Just apply death on everything, and then we can try to kind of, you know, detonate those deaths with this last attack, which reduces the target's death turn timer. In between, I might have to heal, we'll have to see, but screw it, we'll go for it. Let me just make sure my pets are right. And I'm going to put the block pet in, which is like the free-to-play rare one because I don't have the legendary version yet, so we're gonna start the run now. You're gonna see we get outsped, which is pretty standard with the death teams, but it's okay. We are taking a bit of damage, but the Link does come in. We do land death on 1 target, which is fine. You could see actually these ads can remove debuffs, which is pretty annoying, but I think we're still okay. Now we have Chris apply his death. We have all of these deaths going in. You can see that because he hit one that already had death, it just insta-died. And honestly, at this point, I should probably heal, which I will. And now the turn timers on these deaths are all at 2 turns. So what I'm going to do, actually, is just use her second ability to reduce it to 1 turn. Maybe it'll go off right before and they end up dying. So here we go. I think 2 of them got affected, so this one goes and dies. Okay, that is pretty broken. This one goes... Okay, yeah, I mean, for PvE death teams... She's really, oh my god, this is actually like insane because I was running like only Chris and Nox, and now that I have Aquila, it's like kind of like giga fast. So you can see you're like finishing up the wave. A 20 turn death team is absolutely crazy. I guess it's gonna be like 30-ish, maybe even more because one of them revived. But some of the death teams that you run, they end up taking like 100+ turns, right? But because we have the ability to reduce the turn duration, and of course I'm trying to speed it up as much as I can, and the Link is actually really clutch in keeping our team pretty healthy. You can see, you know, we're taking damage evenly, which makes it very tanky, and it synergizes very well with anything with, you know, heal over time. So Alice, Lena, Yui, because you'll heal it all evenly. So I think at this point it will be like a 42 turn. Yeah, that's extremely fast. What the heck? Okay, so let's say we don't have Chris, right? Chris is a legendary plus. Aquila is obviously what her banner's running, so you might not have Chris. Nox is a lot easier to get because he's just a legendary. So let's say we don't have Chris. What you can actually do here is put in another healer. I think I'm just gonna put in like Evan. We'll just move him over because I'm not gonna show you the second team anyways. And this just makes your team super tanky. So what I'll do is something like this. Maybe I'll throw in a shield and then use Aquila's skills. But you're gonna see it's gonna be pretty much the same thing. It might be a little bit slower because you have less deaths coming out. But you're gonna see with Nox and Aquila together, they're extremely powerful. So they attack us, it's whatever. We just want to get the Link out ASAP. Even though Aquila does take a lot of damage here, this Link is really going to just provide her with a lot of, you know, survivability here. So there we go, and then I'm going to use Nox's Death. We put it on 2 characters, and I think we just do the same thing. I don't think we need the shield yet, right? Because these orcs are being dumb orcs, and just using buffs. So I don't know if it will land. I think it did, yeah. Oh, wait, that just insta-died. Hello? That cannot be legal. Okay, I guess one of them just insta-died right off the bat because of it. And yeah, I guess we just wait for our next cycle of deaths. But you can kind of see, I did make a death guide on my channel, like death team guide. And I will have to make another one, I guess, that's updated with the new Aquila because she kind of changes how you play it. Instead of like just solely tanking down and, you know, just turtling forever, you can really speed up the runs with her, which is going to be very good because in Nightmare mode, once you pass turn 200, what ends up happening is you get a debuff, which makes you take way more damage and heal less. So you do need to kill them somewhat quickly. Not like quickly at all, but you can't just take forever is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, she's going to be pretty good for that. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's nice. Just insta-procs it with her death on death. You can kind of see it's not even that much slower, is it? I think like if we didn't get unlucky and we landed that death on this guy in the front, it would have been a little bit slower, but essentially the same speed. Now we can heal up, but the Link is like so powerful. It's actually kind of crazy. And this weakness hit chance reduction doesn't really matter for PvE, but I imagine for PvP it's going to be really good. Okay, I don't think we'll get that off, so I'll use Evan's skill. And then what I'll end up doing is Nox's death skill into the reduction, and hopefully it lands so we can speed up the team, the run, but you can kind of see, yeah, we do land it on everything. That's perfect. You can kind of see the death team, even though it was already like probably in my opinion the best team for progressing through these hard Nightmare stages, with Aquila it's so much better. Oh my god, it's actually kind of crazy. So definitely a unit you want at T0, I think. I don't think you need any dupes, but she looks absolutely crazy for progging Nightmare. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today's video. You can see Aquila, not like giga OP, like where she's game changing, but for progressing Nightmare, if you're looking for a good death unit, she's really good, and you will want to progress Nightmare to get to the harder farming stages to farm like those higher level accessories, because it's very important for your PvP teams. But yeah, she's like a really good enabler. You don't even need, you know, Chris with her. You can just run Aquila with like Nox. I think Nox is pretty much required because Nox improves your death effect probability, which is very important, and he has a source of death. So these two together are very good, and honestly, she's just really strong because Link is just like a super broken part of her kit. Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.